Okay, how many fingers am I holding up?
Now, Bruce, thou shalt not tempt the Lord
Hey, if you
thy
can't
God.
do it, man, that's cool.
3, 2, 4, 9, 6, 8, 1.
Okay. How many now?
7.
7 tips and tricks for PALWORLD, and I'm getting started right now. Okay, so tip number 1, critical gear. You can get both these pieces before you hit level 5. The first one being the common shield. This is a halo type temporary health bar that regenerates as you take damage. Let me demonstrate. The second piece of gear that you're going to want to prioritize is the normal parachute. This will save you from fatal falls because you can just open it right before you hit the ground or slightly before, right? And it can save your life. A really fun feature about the parachute is if you slide right before you open it up, it almost doubles or triples your traversal speed. As you can see here, I was moving way faster when I slid, and again, as I mentioned earlier, saves you from taking fall damage. Tip number 2 is mind where and how you build your base. You can see my pals here struggling to get these materials to my storage location. Just because their derpy AI isn't able to go through the doors to get to my chest. So they just derp around in chaos, really accomplishing nothing. If I were to do it again, I wouldn't prioritize the view or visual aesthetics like I normally do, but instead prioritize flat and spacious layouts when you're building your base. And you can still make those look nice. When building your base, also realize that your PAL box works as a fast travel location. And you can use these to traverse through the various stones that you find throughout the world to help speed things up, or if you die, recover your body. Another sub-bullet to base building is that there's a disassembly mode if you hit B and then C on your keyboard. When I first started, I would accidentally create a wall or a floor and have to physically beat it down to remove it. This gives you your materials back so you can replace it as desired. Tip number 3, stacking shortcuts. Hit R to auto stack into an open chest. Hold shift while you drag to take half of a stack in either the inventory or the chest, and then shift and right click either deposits or withdraws the entire stack. Tip number 4 is about the 2 most important pals that you can get early in the game. Deer is one of the fastest mounts throughout the entirety of the game. He also gets a nifty double jump that can also help you negate fall damage by just timing it appropriately, and of course getting over some tough to reach spots. But what makes him truly special is his antler uppercut that I just used, because while you use it, not only do you get a speed bonus, but you regenerate stamina, so that in combination with sprint, you'll be zooming across the land. The other pal you'll like to prioritize is Nightwing, or as I like to call him, Dope Wing. He only takes a couple more levels than Deer to get the saddle for, and yep, you guessed it, he can fly. And what he does is really give you that vertical mastery over mountains. He's not fantastic at just flying forever because he does consume a lot of stamina, but he is way better than climbing by hand. And between the two of these, you'll have X and Y covered for moving across the lands. They're also competent fighters, especially if you get decent bonuses like I happen to luck out with. Oh, and I almost forgot. When he runs out of stamina, he doesn't drown you in the water. He can recover while hovering over water. So he's also fantastic for getting over bodies of water. Tip number 5, explore. Now that you have movement covered, don't be scared to teeter yourself into higher difficulty areas. You can find eggs like I just picked up, which you can incubate as you continue to explore some of these harder areas. You'll find chests with PAL spheres that are higher than you can typically craft, as well as larger eggs, which make even bigger and better pals, with the best among these eggs being the huge ones. You also find effigies scattered around the world. Turning these in at the stone of power that you build at your base increases your capture chance. You'll unlock fast travel stones as well, so that you can go back to these areas when you're ready. As you can see, they're kicking my butt, so I just grab it, and as soon as I can, I am out of here, using that good old antler dash to help me dash away to safety. And that's not all. There's also skill fruits, merchants, NPC towns, dungeons that you can also find along the way. Spending some time exploring will greatly increase your power in the form of inventory. So you're not spending all your time grinding, right? So that you can create and craft these pal spheres. A disclaimer here, the desert does hurt you if you're not properly equipped, but it's manageable. You can get through there and find a fast travel point before you die. Conversely, the cold does way more damage than heat damage. You can see my life just dwindling away faster than I can do anything. You will not, and I repeat, you will not find a travel stone before you die without being properly equipped. So save this area for last, or make sure you have the right gear or pals to help you traverse the fearsome, the deadly, the great white snow. And to explain briefly on what I meant by pals is that some pals have a passive feature that while you're mounted, it negates cold or heat damage, or in the case of this kitsune, both. So if you happen to look out and find one of these, you're in great shape. Okay, tip number 6. Let's expand on eggs now that we've done plenty of exploring. There are 3 tiers of eggs. Regular, which I would say gives you pals of saddle mounts between level 1 to 20, like this Raindrix. Then large, which will give you saddle mounts between, just again ballparking, level 20 through 35 to just keep things simple. Example given, this Ice Reptyro, right? And then saving the best for last are the huge eggs, which will net you typically a saddle level mount of 35 plus. So grabbing them early won't really help you. You can still use the pals, but you won't gain their benefit until you're high enough level to craft the appropriate saddle for them. When they hatch, do note that they all start at level 1, but they level up pretty quickly as long as you just have them in your party as you're fighting alongside with your other pals. Tip number 7. Where to place your second base. Use your free TP wisely. My suggestion is to build by ore. So I would say find yourself some ore on the map. I'll show you this place right here, just in reference to the starting base. Ore is hella heavy. So I use my second base to just create furnaces, buy all the ore so that I can smelt it all there. And then once it's smelted, it's a lot lighter and I can just transport that back to my main base. So I'm not hauling ore back and forth in a very limited quantity. Anyway, those are my 7 tips and tricks, things I wish I knew before I got started. Appreciate all you guys that made it all the way through, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.